So I had a request on how to blend eyeshadow. On this eye, I'm going to show you how I don't do it anymore. I have my unique way. I don't want to say unique because other people do it and I'm not ever taking credit for anything. But I do things a little bit differently, and I'm going to show you how I used to do them, and then we'll do this eye and show you how I do it now. So this is a MAC paint pot, very common in the makeup industry, but the one thing I don't love about these is that they completely dry down, and as they dry very, very hard. So that means that as my eye has had the privilege of aging, it just kind of gets a little bit crinkly. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this from my lash line up to my brow bone. And please keep in mind, if you're enjoying this and not having any kind of issues, you completely ignore me. Ignore me kindly, but I am just here to kind of show you why things or how things just stopped working for me. So the next thing I would do is I would just take a loose powder, whatever I had. It probably would have been Laura Mercier at the time, and I would actually take quite a bit of it, or I would even take a shadow closer to my skin tone, and then I would set this. So already, I'm already looking a little bit drier. And even if we take the visual of what it's looking like on me, what's going to happen here is that this is completely set. So let me show you. And then after it dried down, I would take just a shadow. I would pick this much up, and then I already have to retrain myself to hold the brush where I would have held it. I probably would have held it right here, very close to the ferrule, like we're used to holding a pencil. And then I would just take this back and forth, and I would just do like this. I would do some buffing, and I would just go back and forth. Now I will say, this is not the MAC 217. That's a pretty smooth blend. But listen, friends, we can even get this more smooth. And also, whenever you completely set a base, not always, but we run the risk of that base not accepting the shadow evenly. And what that means is patchiness. And then we see that patchiness and we just keep going back and forth. And that is where we get overblending. What is overblending? Also patchiness and dullness. It'll start to look gray and muddy. And that is when we overblend. So we're gonna adjust how we hold this, and we're gonna find a different base for this eye. I wanna show you options, and it's less about the brand. I wanna show you texture. I wish you could reach to the screen and touch them. So I even suggest liquid shadows for oily lids. These newer formulas, they have a slower dry time. So if you kind of just coat the area, I'll just do it here on my cheek, even it out for just a second, and it's not completely dry yet, they have slower dry times, and that works beautifully when you're trying to layer shadow on top. So don't be afraid to use a liquid shadow. Another texture I love, especially for shimmers, is going to be a clear base like this. I'll put it here on my forehead so you can kind of see. You see how shiny and tacky that is? If you're using shimmers, delightful. Now I can even layer mattes on top, but again, it's important that we take time and even out any kind of eyeshadow base. It makes a difference. Now this texture right here, this very, very opaque, not self-setting. This will not dry until you set it. So I love these, but like I just said, it's important to get them super, super thin across the skin, or they'll eat your eyeshadow. And what that means is it'll basically start to mix, change color, and become chaos. But if you get them nice and thin, it's absolutely beautiful. And the way that they hold eyeshadow is just on another level. I also want to mention that you can use a concealer, but I like concealers that don't have a dry down. You ever read self-setting on concealer? I don't like those. So I feel like that can kind of narrow down things. I know this is getting very granular, but I know you can handle it. So we like this texture, and that doesn't dry until I set it. I'm actually going to use the DD Signature. I love the shadows, the base, big fan of this brand. And then I'm just going to grab this brush, and this will be great for you to see how even I get it. And I can just feel the moisture. And I feel that even if you have oily lids, for this particular brand right here, I feel like you're not gonna have any kind of issues. I just cannot reiterate enough. Dense brush, like the C31. I said like, You don't have to go buy it, my friends. Just get it nice and thin. Ooh, look at that. Now, take this and this. Oh, I tricked you. Don't do that. And by the way, my favorite eyeshadow primer of all time is Clean Canvas from Gerard Cosmetics, but I think it might be being discontinued. So if you're wondering, why didn't she mention Clean Canvas? Now I can keep yapping. This is going to crease because it's not set. Just like under eye concealer, not spooky. This doesn't dry down. We set it in a minute. But I wanted to show you a MAC paint pot over here so you can kind of see how it dries down. They just are, I can have opinions sometimes, but I just feel like they're a little bit of an outdated formula, and there are new things that have been introduced that just kind of flex with the skin better. So I just feel like these are just so dry, but there is still one use for these. I'm pig trailing a little bit. If you use this underneath your makeup, say that you have an area that sometimes makeup doesn't want to stick to, these are so nice and dry that they will absolutely stay in these areas. Say we're perspiring a little bit or it won't stay on our nose, this under your makeup is still a great technique. So don't toss it. I just don't use it here anymore. Now YouTube taught me the technique of what I started with over here with the powder. And it also taught me big fluffy brush at once. I think that it's best for my technique to start with a brush like this. If you have a smaller or a more hooded eye, you could even start with this size of a brush to really keep control. Game changer. But where I'm at right now, I'm gonna use the same shadow. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm also a little mindful of how much I pick up, but I might be just yapping too much. I'll just show you how much. Okay, friends. See, I love this about the brushes. Please let me yap 2 seconds. They already have like a built-in guideline of where to hold it. See where it starts to get a little bit thinner? That's where you hold it. It's built in. It's just easy to remember. See this creasing? Totally normal for all the yapping that I do. Press it out. Remember the shadow? All I'm going to do is angle that towards the ceiling, and this is kind of my very quick technique. Press it. And the way that that wet base absorbs, look at how nice that looks. And it even shows up more true. Scrumptious. I haven't picked up any more. Get it all the way across here. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I'm just gonna wipe my brush off. Sometimes wet base will pick up on a brush, but that's okay. We just give it a quick wipe, and now look at this transition. So soft. So much more control. If you want to have it migrate more towards your brow bone, you can, but look at the blend and how easy that was. In under a minute, with all the yapping. And where you hold this brush makes such a difference, and that's why I wanted to build it into the brush. I really modeled these after artist paintbrushes. I just thought that was so cool. I always wanted to be a painting artist, but makeup kind of took over. Now I picked up a little bit more just on the tip of the brush. You'll always see that I do these pushing motions. And then I use the side of the brush a lot of the time. Whenever you can be just a little bit more delicate, remember the eye area, no matter your eye shape, it's still such a small area. So these big motions sometimes are hard for this eye area to understand. So these little tiny motions, while they might feel time consuming, I mean, that's a really good blend. I could already walk out the door just like that. Creasing is normal with this kind of base. Also, just look at how much smoother that looks. Like, look at good gracious. Now, I'm happy with it because that's privilege right there. Y'all look at it with me. Oh, Lord. But this... documenting yourself aging is very interesting. It's not bad, but I have been doing this, I don't even know how long. I mean, really since 2012. So that's interesting. But look at how, it just looks so much better to me. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do, let's just add some more, pick it up on the side. I still love putting eyeshadow out here. Give me the V. I love it. Y'all know what I'm talking about? The eyeshadow V, the V. Oh, scrumptious. You know what? I'll show you this too. If you do want a little bit more control through here, just switch to the smaller brush. Look how nicely that goes along the lash line. Push it in here. Now I'm just playing around. Like I said, that very first blend that we did was delightful. But I just want to always give you some blendy blend options. And then just push it in here. Sometimes I do have to look back a little bit just to kind of move around the eye to make sure I'm filling in all those beautiful gaps that I have now with this much softer eyelid. And then our fluffy brush is not obsolete. No, we need it. It's a finisher. Think of your fluffy eye brush the same way as you think of your fluffy complexion brush. It is your finisher essentially. So what we're gonna do here is taps, but I do like to focus this more in the middle of the brush, and then I'll just tap this way. I still love my tapping motions. I do. I just feel like, I'm picking up one more tap. I feel like they just melt shadow on top of one another. Now once I have the blend, I saw the blend that I wanted, and now we can just do some soft nothing motions. I see it, don't you worry, because it's not set. I haven't figured out what I want to do there yet. Actually, I'm going to teach you this. So I want to use a new liquid shadow that just launched. You'll see what it is. But I'm going to go ahead, and if I'm going to do a liquid shadow, my friends, I don't want any base under it. It is the base or it's the shadow. Because when you're trying to layer a liquid shadow on top of a base, especially an unset base like this, you're going to have chaos, and it's going to eat the pigments. Remember how I talked about it swallowing it up? That's exactly what's going to happen. So let's just tidy this up with some micellar water. This one from Bioderma I never have issues with. I just love it so much. And as long as it dries, I never have issues with the shadow moving or anything. Now we don't want to put it on top of the wet. Let's try out one of these new Makeup by Mario soft shimmer shadows. Hot off the presses. Now, I'm finicky, but sometimes these deposit too much, so I just take from one side and we'll just put that on real fast. Oh, look at how pretty that is. Ooh, these are like a glaze. I like it. Definitely getting some pretty shimmer there. I feel like this just looks like my eye, but glazed. I picked up more. And then again, you just want to get this super flat across the skin. That looks lovely. Ooh, these are pretty. I'm excited to create with these. And this is one of my favorite things to do. Just take your very first transition shade and fill in this gap. Remember, dark, the transition, and then the shimmer. And if you want to take a whisper of powder, set your brow bone, or put shimmer, just do whatever you want there. I mean, you really don't even have to set it, but in case you are wondering what I do with my brow bone, really whatever I feel like that day. So a little powder if you're wondering what to do. I added a pair of lashes. These are Lily Lashes Bratz collab, the style Jade. I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. I feel that understanding dry times and eyeshadow bases, and even your concealer, if you want to use a concealer, just make sure it's not self-setting. That really does make a difference in where you hold that brush. All right, I love you all. Bye for now.